Millions converge on Manhattan every New Year's Eve to celebrate, and that could be making the frantic hunt for a missing 22-year-old from Virginia even tougher tonight. Ian Burnet left his home in Richmond, Virginia the day after Christmas and headed to the Big Apple with plans to stay the week and have a good time and ring in the new year. But Ian vanished 12 days ago before he could even see the ball drop. The last place he was seen, at the apartment he was staying with some friends. Cops say his last known contact was a text to his college roommate. What happened to this engineering student? All right, give me a call if you have any thoughts or you've seen him, 1-877-JVM says. All right, this case is unfolding as we speak, and it's a breaking news story. We found out pretty shortly before air. I know we have some principals here. We have a friend, a former girlfriend of Ian's, Megan King. Megan, thank you for joining us. We're very concerned about this young man, as obviously are you. His family says he has no history of drug or alcohol abuse. He's an engineering student, not the type of guy to go out and get in trouble. What would you say so that we can at least define what we're dealing with here?
Yes, ma'am. He was a very good boy. Ian has always been very smart. He's an Eagle Scout, graduated valedictorian in 2008 from New Kent High School. He has always had a good head on his shoulders. Probably one of the sweetest people that I have ever come in contact with. Very, very smart, very forgiving. You know, as young people can be vindictive going through breakups and such like that. But I actually spoke to him on Christmas, and you know, we've been okay.
Well, joining me by phone is Ian's very worried father, Mark Burnet. You are at a vigil for your son right now in Virginia. First of all, I'm so sorry you're going through this. We want to be helpful. We are showing your son's face. What are Ian's roommates saying about the last time they saw him?
Ian was communicating via text with them, and the last bit of information that we had was that he was just stepping out to go out for the evening, and we don't have any other information other than that. I received a routine, type of text talking about touring in New York on the 28th, and he did transmit some text messages about his return on the 2nd or thereabouts. And generally, we're facing a mystery here.
Well, sir, may I ask you? He apparently left his Riverside Drive or that area apartment without taking his cell phone. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, and that's not untypical for him. He doesn't communicate via phone very often. He does use his phone for texting occasionally, but he doesn't carry it with him at all times.
Did the friends have any idea of who he was going out with? I mean, he says, hey, I'm heading out. Did he say I'm meeting some buddies or I'm going to dinner or what?
I don't have any other information about that, and we've not been able to determine that from anyone. At this point, what we're trying to do is find out these answers. There's a lot of people out there trying to look on the streets and see what's happened, but the fact is we just don't know. And we we're trying to find someone who might know, and that's what we're trying to do.
We've got some experts here. If you just want to stand by for a second, sir, we're going to bring in some of these experts and then maybe ask you another question. Ian texted his parents December 27th, and I think he just mentioned December 28th. Cops say his last known contact was to a friend Friday, December 30th, and then he was last seen at the apartment on Riverside Drive, which is along the Hudson River. And Riverside Drive, I'm born and raised in New York City. It goes from a very ritzy neighborhood to what can be a dangerous neighborhood. This is the Harlem area. It's very trendy right now. A lot of very expensive homes going up in that area and remodeling, gentrification, and all sorts of wonderful things happening in Harlem. But there are parts of it and there are places at certain times where it can be dangerous. What say you, Mark Eiglarsh, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, about what cops should be doing in a huge city where, wow, last I checked, 8 million people minimum to find this young man?
Yeah. This is a tragedy, Jane, and usually there's more detail to work with. We've got nothing here. 1 minute he's there, he uses his phone, next minute no. Obviously, the phone is the key. I would go through and really study everything you can get from that. And the other thing is, and the only other thing you can do is keep putting his face out there and hope that somebody sees your show or someone on the local news looks up and says, wait, I saw some foul play involving that kid, and then reports it.
Mike Brooks, he did not take his cell phone, but apparently he took his driver's license and credit cards.
Right.
This area that he was in, again, born and raised in New York, there are some parts of it that can be considered dangerous. What do cops do vis-a-vis, let's say, surveillance cameras? Are surveillance cameras all over the city?
You do have them. He disappeared. He was 139th Street and Riverside Drive, and I know New York very well myself. But he did have his credit cards. But there's no activity on the credit cards. But I did speak to an NYPD, a New York City Police Department source, that says right now they have no sign, Jane, of any criminality. But still, it's early on in the investigation.
All right, well, we're just getting